Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of John's Cancer Experience, brought to you by the Acme Movement, trying to plant the seeds of epiphany within your minds. Well, I don't know about where I left off the last time, but I went and had another. Well, the whole story is I had a couple times I went in and had a half gallon of fluid drained off my lung. Then they decided to put a catheter in me so I wouldn't have to keep getting cut open and drained of fluid from my lungs. They could just put a tube in me with a valve on it that I filled vacuum bottles with. So every other day or every third day, I pull about a liter of fluid off my lungs. It keeps me from probably dying. I don't know how long I can keep this up. I was given 3 to 6 months. 6 months to a year with treatment. I went and had a brain scan done after all this last week. Now I'm going to go to a preliminary treatment appointment. They're going to tell me my treatment options if I have any. I've also been treating myself with RSO oil, Rick Simpson oil. I'm using a brand called, well, maybe I shouldn't say the brand, but Michigan made. They do it in small batches, and I buy it at the local dispensary. I'm happy with it. Well, so here I am, I don't know if you can see the picture very well, but that's a picture of the bottles that I used to drain the stuff off me and patch myself back up, and kind of roll up the little tube and put a Band-Aid over the side of it. Regardless, not a pleasant experience. So, I sold my house to a childhood friend of mine. We were kind of like brothers back in the day. Back in the middle 80s, early 80s. I guess. Hell, we started hanging out together in 78, 79. Yeah, so glad a friend got my house. He's going to finish it. We're going to try and finish it. I got a letter from the ordinance officer again telling me I can't stay in my trailer and he wasn't going to renew my occupancy permit. This was after I sold it, and I called him and told him, hey, you give me till September 6th, but I'm probably not going to have the house done until September 30th or into October. Friend bought it. He's the one doing the work. He's going to let me live here until I die. And he was cool with it. My pal's going to get the permits and probably another occupancy permit. And so long as we can get some contractors in here, I'll get to see my little house done before I drop dead. Which is really the only thing that's ever been on my bucket list anyway, So, I got a little cash. I made my will out and I'll live decent. I ain't got a hell of a lot of money, but it's just for 10 years I've been living on, $1,000 a month, barely hanging on. Don't know how I kept this place. When I first moved up here in 2011, 2012, I was at like $700 a month through disability, and then, a little bit for food stamps, but I was suffering at that time. I could have died at any point in the past 35 years, Suicide headaches is no joke, man, especially when you had them as bad as I did, along with all the other shit that I had going on. And when this cancer happened a couple years ago, it was like I just flatlined. I can almost guarantee I know when I started having problems with this cancer. It was one day I was fine. As I went on throughout that day, it was like just sick and sick ever since. Just no energy. It's like, I guess cancer's kind of like, you don't really want to do anything. I've kind of put myself in a position, luckily, where I don't really have to do anything, I still got a place to live. I don't know how bad things are going to get for me, when they're going to get bad, I haven't taken really any painkillers. I just don't have any energy. Every couple of days I can't breathe. And then the day I drain myself, I have a hard time breathing. Then I wake up the next day and I seem to be breathing okay. And I start falling back off, and not being able to breathe very well. About the time I start hurting, I drain the fluid and I still hurt for a while, and then I get like every other day where I feel halfway decent, and still no energy and still no ambition, it's a lot of work even just doing your laundry, you just take it one thing at a time, one day at a time, and hope you accomplish more, I guess, and never stop living until you die. I guess that's my idea. So, I'm just going to try and enjoy the time I have left. Well, I had enjoyed the time I had, but it wasn't the time I would have had, would have chosen. So, God, I would have rather been dead than walk through a hurricane every day of my life. And I almost did. I almost killed myself several times. And then my seizures, headaches went away. It was like my whole life was pretty much over anyhow, all my best years were gone. I'm 52 and wanting to go back into drywall, or 50 at the time. But I was walking circles around people, I had to show a couple guys my driver's license to prove I was 50 because I was such, had so much more energy than they had, and then a year later everything changed. It was crazy. So here I am on the road to my further cancer experience, and I'll keep you updated. Whoever wants to know an update. I thought it'd be a good idea to tell people about my experience, So, here I am. Just make sure you go and watch the We the People show from the Acme Movement. I've got one video out for the Acme Movement. I just want people to, realize that there could be something different, even if it isn't what I suggest or what the Acme Movement wants to offer. But just keep in mind, we don't have to keep living like this. It's bullshit.